Oh shit, it's another motherfucking Friday. We're doing it. Welcome back. Glad you made it. It's not a social production. We're doing it. It's Friday, August the 29th, 2025. Thank you for joining me once again. If it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. If you're tuning in from Canada, mi familias, further down south, the United States of the Americas, more of my familias, even more of my familias, further down south, Mexico, more familias, South America, over there in Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Guinea, that's a, we just made up a new country, didn't we? Papua New Guinea, dude. Ladies and yes, shout out to Papua New Guinea. The Peruvian uncontacted tribes who are getting contacted by loggers who are making bridges so that they can commute more into the forest, into the rainforest, into the Amazon, and log more, and bring about more change, and cough on the faces of the indigenous people who are being endangered, but also get with the times, dudes. Are they just uncontacted tribes, or are they just a bunch of nudists or predators at worst? Or just what if they're just into streaking and they've just low-key been hiding under the guise of uncontacted tribes? And if you are looking to go streaking, I believe it's called indecent. What if they're just a bunch of indecent exposers? What if that's their thing? So there's plenty of, it's neither here or there, but we should look into it. What are we even talking about? I don't even know, dude. It's Friday. Thank you for joining me once again, wherever you're tuning in from. Let's get started. Lots of stuff to be discussed, lots of fun to be had, let's just get a sip of this bad boy for a second. I don't know where you are right now, but here in Toronto, the temperatures have, they've dropped. Feels like it's, summer's done and over with, and I believe it is. So this summer flew by. Your boy was quite busy, like most of you guys and gals out there running around doing things, taking care of business. So summer flew by. This summer didn't do, but it's okay. There was a saying or a quote or something about working hard during the spring and summer so that you have some nuts in your hands during fall. And something about working hard and having ample amounts of nuts in it. It was involving a squirrel or a rodent of sorts, and then maybe another rodent who was just like, oh, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna live that hobo lifestyle. And then come winter, the hardworking squirrel, plenty of nuts and vag in his face. The other hobo squirrel was just fucking knocking on that other squirrel's door saying, hey man, can I suck you off for some nuts? And the squirrel with the nuts chucked a couple of nuts out the window. He said, just suck on these and get away from my cack. That was the conversation between the two. I forget the story, to be honest with you, but that's neither here or there. The point is that this summer flew by, and it's back to school season. Not for your boy, but I see it, I smell it. Reminds me of that time. It's September, almost. Man, oh man, back to school season. Congratulations to all the youngins out there, whichever grade you may be in. And congratulations to all the parents getting your youngins ready for school, or your old youngins, the ones that are graduating onto, to college, university, those ones too. But man, oh man, it's good times being in school. Some of it, the socializing aspect, being with friends is nice. That part of it is nice. Having to sit still for hours on that part, maybe, but whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. Congratulations to, it's that time to pack that school bag with supplies, or maybe just, have at least a school bag sometimes, and it's okay. You can get your school supplies from your other classmates sometimes. That works too. Hey, anybody can your boy bum a piece of paper or a pen or pencil? All right, because why pack a heavy bag? It's also, some kids come prepared, but also those are the ones that walk away with fucking neck issues and back pain later on in life. Whereas the other ones who just put a backpack around one shoulder, fucking upright, chest out, barrel chested, chest out, good spine, no hip problems. What are we even talking about? Let's get right into it, man. Yeah, congratulations to everybody going back to school. It's that season, so the parentals are, let's fall into that fall routine once again. Let's get right into it. Let's just get right into it. A lot of today, I just want to preface this because today, so we're going to be touching on some topics that are a little bit sensitive. So before jumping right into it, cock first and all, I do like to say, let us always remember that the majority of people are not only trying their best, majority of society works really well. You got to give it, you got to take it one day at a time, or at least that's what I tell myself. And also appreciate the little things that everybody does, because you meet so many wonderful people. I'm so lucky to meet so many nice, genuinely nice people, men, women from different backgrounds, just good folks, Everybody busy doing their thing, but just nice. It's not anything significant, nothing anybody has to do for you that's major, just a good, solid interaction. And you can reverse that and reciprocate and, put a smile on somebody's face. So these things, although little, they go a long way. And most of society is that. It's the little handshakes that we, either physically give to one another or just cooperate to, make each other's day go by a little bit easier. So most of it is that. But sometimes certain things happen and then we got stuff to talk about, don't we? God. Yeah, but let us never lose sight of the goodness in each and every one of us that's out there, fucking just oozing out of every orifice, which is nice, which is appreciated. So I appreciate you out there, doing your thing, whatever it is you're doing. But yeah, sometimes people have, days that are good. And we all, to different varying degrees, have had some days where we sit back and we're like, oh, I wish I wish I could redo that day, or, and so, and this one's, let's just jump into it. Roger Jackson versus Psycho Stu. God, this one is, man. I believe he is Roger Jackson. This is Rampage Jackson's son. And yeah, I love Rampage. Love the UFC's. Big fan. We're going to get right into it, but just want to preface this before getting into it. All right. God, what happened? I believe I saw a video like many of you guys and gals out there might have seen. Roger Jackson versus Psycho Stu. I don't know exactly the full details. It was an event, maybe a wrestling event, maybe I don't know, a cross-promotional event of sorts, an entertainment event. Words were exchanged, physical activities were exchanged, cans of beers, maybe a can of beer was broken over someone's head, and in a fun spirit, and maybe in a in a coordinated effort to create entertainment, and hugs were exchanged, or hard feelings were set aside after the said can of beer was broken over Roger Jackson's head by Psycho Stu, and you thought, and we all thought it was it, but then people started going online and egging Roger Jackson on, saying, I don't know exactly what they said to him, but something got under his skin eventually. Maybe they called him a bitch. Maybe they call him a pussy, maybe they call him a faggot, maybe whatever they call him. And Roger Jackson decided to jump in the ring, pounce on Psycho Stu, who is a wrestler, not an MMA fighter, and just went to town, just pummeled the man, knocked him out, and then continued to knock him back out, just continuously punched him in the face and just mounted on top of him and just unleashed a fury of hell. Consisting of lefts and rights, and a lot of just, the damage was severe, let's just say that. I don't know the full extent of the story because I'm not there in person. I hope Psycho Stu's all right. I believe, and that's, again, well, he's not dead. Let's just thank God he's not dead. Big takeaway there. Yeah, so it was one of those days. That sucks for Psycho Stu, and I bet it sucks for Raja as well. But the moral of the story is, big picture, things that were achieved. If you get called a pussy or a bitch or a fag or whatever other terms that may be used to, put you down or whatever, and you don't want to be said pussy, faggot, bitch, whatever, coward, just a little bit light in your shoes, a little bit, you got that sugar in your tank, whatever the term may be, and you want to prove people wrong. There's an example right here, and it's due to beautiful technology today, is going to be up there forever, for a really long time, unless maybe we have like a massive, solar flare that'll wipe everything off of everybody's hard drives for good. But until that happens, or until we get hit with a massive, cyber security attack if we get cyber attacked, that wipes everybody's data off of everything. The point is that it's going to be up there. If you're looking for an example to not be a pussy, Roger Jackson, say what you will. I'm not condoning any of this. I'm not a man of violence. Don't like violence. Don't like bullies. Don't like don't like bullying. Don't like violence. Let's just preface all these things. Not if, but if you don't want to look like a puss, and then that's, you know, that's a prime example where you could do to not avoid being called. Nobody's going to be calling this guy a puss anymore. And he's not a pussy anymore. He's not a bitch. He's not a pussy. He's not a fag. Whatever I don't even know the terms that were used, but something got under his skin. If you want to prove people wrong, that is a prime example of how you prove people wrong. Do exactly what they, you know, expect you to do by egging you on. Repercussions, deal with that after. All right, you deal with that after, but the lines have to be drawn. And Roger Jackson, say what you will, not condone it, but not puss. Again, things that were to be achieved on that day, not puss, not bitch, that was on the list, achieved. Other consequences that might follow afterwards, that is something that you might have to deal with, you know, in the long run. And it sucks. It genuinely sucks. I felt so terrible for Psycho Stu. Don't know the man, just honestly, this was my introduction to him. My heart goes out to him and his family, because yeah, if it's a professional MMA fight, that's a different story. Even then, when people get knocked out, you have referees getting in there with their beautiful mustaches, or, you know, and their UFC attire, the UFC attire for the referee, and they blow the whistle and they get in there, stop it, get away from him. Or I don't even know what they say, to be honest with you. That's enough of this. They get in there and just like they do one of this, which is international sign language for like, enough is enough. He's had enough, or she's had enough. Get off him. And that's a risky business for a referee too. You never know, because that's the thing. You tell a fella, oh, you admire these fighters more and more, because that's the thing. When they see that, or they feel that referee pouncing in, they know when to back off. But what if you just accidentally? Oh, it would suck to accidentally get knocked out as a referee. Has that happened in the UFC? I don't think I've seen that happen, but it could easily happen. You're putting yourself in the line of fire, trying to protect the knocked out fighter, which is it's a beautiful game. Yeah, again, I appreciate that sport. I appreciate the mixed martial arts. Don't know any of it myself outside of my fake shadow boxing, or shadow karate, as I like to say it, and that's just me fucking doing karate with the lights off, dude. Just right there, dude. What are we talking about? The point is that there's the other morals to be taken away from this story. Moral of the story is they do say that everybody should do MMA. They do say that. I've probably said that at one point myself. I'm like, oh, you know, a great way to get rid of bullies, or just, you know, to teach people discipline or hard work. You just do MMA without having done any MMA myself. I say that. I've said that in the past. I'm like, everybody should learn MMA. We're gonna scratch that. We're gonna skirt, take a little bit. We're gonna take it back. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta take it. But maybe some people should not learn how to MMA. Maybe some people should just like learn a couple of the letters, not the full thing. You know, just maybe focus more on the A rather than the double M's. You know what I mean? Some people, because that's too much. Some people should. It's just too much for some people. You can't handle it. There's a part that comes with it. Again, I've not been in it, but you've seen it. We've seen all the martial arts movies growing up. There's a level of sportsmanship that's supposed to go into. There's a level of, you know, if you know something more than somebody else, if you're physically more kid, do not, you know, abuse that power. With great power comes great responsibility. Lessons to be learned in karate school or something. But then there's also strike first and strike hard. So there's that. So I don't know, mixed messages. But the point is that maybe we shouldn't say that everybody should learn MMA. Some people shouldn't. I mean, you know, I bet Roger Jackson would have wished he never knew MMA right now. I wish. He probably wishes that. He probably wishes that. Or, you know, maybe he, despite the fact that he achieved not being a puss, maybe he looks back at this moment and he says to himself, maybe oh man, I wish I was just a puss. I wish I was a puss or a bitch. I just wish people would have called me that and I would have laughed it off, or, you know, acknowledged it in some way or another, and just that would have been the end of it. But yeah, maybe some people shouldn't learn MMA, mixed martial, Maybe some people should just learn the, you know, mixed. Maybe some people should just learn that. Just mix it up. Just, you know, mix it. Get a ball. Get some, you know, cake batter. Mix that up. Mix it up. Maybe some people should just, you know, focus on the other end. Martial. Maybe some people should just listen to Eminem's music. That's it. Eminem. Listen to Eminem's rap songs. That's it. Martial. You know, or again, focus on the arts. Just go, you know, do a little bit of Bob Ross shit. Do a little bit of do a little bit of, mix in music, do a little bit of, clay work, sit somebody down in front of some clay and just sit behind them and, touch them from behind, caress them, make a vase together and touch each other with clay and then rub clay on each other's faces and have like a sexy ghost moment. One of those is, point being is maybe not everybody should learn mixed martial arts. That's also something that could be taken away here. Sucks. Wouldn't it be great if he got in the ring and he didn't have any of the skills? If only I had the set of skills that'll allow me to, it's so furious, yet lacking skills and ability. I'll just walk away now. What else is going on? I hope this is hopefully a learning experience for Raja and hopefully Mr. Stu, Psycho Stu, hopefully he doesn't get major brain damage down the line and, hopefully he doesn't drool for the rest of his life. Hopefully he has his memory intact. Hopefully he can still attend to business. Who knows how this is going to get resolved? The most important thing, no matter how it gets legally, so I do hope that Psycho Stu, is healthy. That would suck, just going into work. That sucks, going into work. You're like, just another day. Another dollar. Next thing you know, you're getting knocked the fuck out. It's, uncalled for, but again, lessons to be learned. If you want to know how to not be a puss, forget the repercussions afterwards. I'm telling you right now, Roger Jackson showed you how not to be a puss. So if somebody says something, you do something. That's how real men do shit. That's how real men stand on that shit on 10 toes and shit. That's how you stand on business. Motherfuckers, you gotta get some respect, son. Ain't no boy gonna respect me. And then deal with the repercussions after. But for the moment, man sometimes gotta do what a man gotta do right there. Gotta break some bones. It's heavy duty. My heart goes out, but also I gotta look for the, gotta get in there. Try to tickle my own membrane at least or something, but that's neither here or there. But yes, genuinely hope, again, grateful, big picture, everybody's alive. That's good. That's the takeaway is the good thing is everybody's alive. Could have gone way worse. What if he ended up dead? It's one of the things that people don't realize too. Again, we're fragile. If anybody needs we are extremely fragile. And knocking people in the head, in the temple area, in the jugular area, again, do it professionally in a professional setting. I don't even think that should be said, but sometimes maybe it should be said. So, if you got some, if you need a couple of tissues for your issues, boy, you walk in that ring or court or, field and just do it with a referee and a man who's able to blow. Talking about whistles and shit, son. Get your mind out of the gutter. The point is that it's Friday, and what other, and today I said we're going to be touching on a couple of stuff that's a little bit, but again, big picture energy, a lot of good things happen on a daily basis in society. People are cooperating, loving one another, doing things to help each other out, little by little. Even a little smile or a little handshake, a little pat on the back, or a little nod. Just a little smile goes a long way. Sometimes, though, we do have the anomalies that attract our attention more so than the average everyday interactions, which are beautiful, which don't get the shine, which sucks. Imagine that was the perspective we had on every day. You'd just be like, look at this wonderful community, always working together, supporting one another, uplifting one another, helping one another. That's not exciting though, is it? And it's not newsworthy, is it? It's not. I get it. Point is that a tragedy. This one. A trans man, Robert Westman in Minneapolis, the mass shooter that went into a Catholic school and he killed a couple of kids, shot at kids, killed a couple of kids, injured a bunch more, and took his own life as well. Robert Westman, don't know too much about the details of the story, but I believe this was, again, a case of it stuff like this is interesting to talk about in a sense, despite that, yeah, again, my heart goes out. It's tragic. It sucks that it happens. It's good to perhaps talk about it, because maybe together we could help eliminate further down the line, so, issues that might be similar. Hopefully we can somehow get rid of it, if we can, or like minimize it to as low a level as possible. Maybe, I don't know what the numbers are, but way less. If we could just do something, anything that could reduce the numbers of these mass shootings, or, acts of violence, of terrorisms. The terrorisms. When it's inflicted from the outside, that's one thing, you're like, outsiders. But when it's from the fucking inside, that hurts extra. You're like, how does this happen? Is it just a one-off? Is it a kook? Is it a crazy? Is it cray-cray? Is it a, mental illness? But if it's just a one-off, if it just happened once, then we could take that easy route and be like, yes, it's just a one-off. But it does happen every now and again. This one sucks, just like the other ones have sucked in the past. This guy, I believe he's 23, tranny. He's a tranny, or a tranny with regrets. Tranny with regrets, with mixed ideologies of, definitely didn't like himself, definitely didn't like a whole lot of other people, but also, again, a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I'm probably not, I don't even have enough information. I'm not even privy enough to enough information, and I don't even know where to begin to properly assess a situation like this. The simple answers are, sometimes more convenient and easier to, convey. It's just a monstrous act. He's a demon from hell. He's a monster. And yes, absolutely, there's definitely demonic or monstrous attributes about this guy. Larger questions. Where are the parents? Where is the community? How did this... And also the trans issue. That's the big one in this particular one. Because, if it was any other shooter, we would have, you'd got to look at the details, got to look at the facts. What are we dealing with? Trans. With a manifesto or some shit. With, a lot of hate, a lot of confusion. I'll say this, the trans topic can be dismissed. It is important to say that, I believe he transitioned, or he changed his name. He wanted to change his name from Robert to Robin when he was 17, and that's when legally his parentals went ahead with him and helped him change his name or whatever. And that's, I guess, these are the early stages. These are the early stages of the transition journey for this fella. That's the takeaway. This whole thing's tragic. That's the takeaway. The other morals and things that we could take away from this story is, yes, encourage your kids to transition at an early age. Allow it to permeate through the schools, through the media, so that they can go out and transition from their biological body. The earlier the better. That's the takeaway. You always want to forget being a parent to your kid. The most important thing you want to be for your kid is being a friend, not just any friend, being a cool friend. Because the world out there is enough naysayers who are making it difficult for your kid, but you want to be that cool parent who just says yes to everything their kid says. So next time your kid comes to you and says, Mom, Dad, I'm confused, and maybe I want to be trans, first thing you do is say, yes, you should be trans. 17-year-old or 15-year-old, or sometimes even younger, yes. And we support you. And while you're at it, ask them if they want to skip a small size tattoo when they're just 17, 18, and just go straight ahead to tongue splitting, that too. Maybe get them that. Allow it to happen, because as we know, humans never have any regrets. These are the most important things too. And you want to make rash decisions with long-lasting consequences at an early age, because as we know it, humans, no regret. Nobody has ever had a regret in human history. So you want to make sure you fucking make decisions which have long-lasting impacts on your life at an early age, ones that you don't quite have the ability to comprehend the entire consequences of, but those are the decisions you want to make at an early age. And you want people to be in your corner saying, yes, you are indeed special. You're special, and you should be protected, and you're special and you should be protected, and we support your transitioning at 17 or starting your journey at 17. Forget about maybe having like longer discussions as to why you're feeling that way, or what's going on at school, or what's going on in your personal internal life. Forget about all that stuff. Let's just put you on meds, cut it off, snip it, tape something back on, and change your name and call you a girl. Let's just do that. And that's what it is. Because realistically, we gotta look at this from a big perspective picture. And it's just, you gotta be able to sit and look at your child in the face and say, yes, I acknowledge your desire to do an extreme body modification at an early age, and I'm here for it and I support it. Could there be anything else we could do? Like maybe, have a talk with your teachers, maybe some, friends, if you've got any, or to figure something out in terms of, that should, or get you in an exercise program, or start, working out, or better yet, you should probably learn MMA. Yeah, you should probably learn MMA or something, instead of, but those take time, and it's just much, much easier to go and change your name and take, hormone therapy and get a little bit of test if you need some, get a little bit of estrogen if you need some, or whatever else they inject you with. It's good to do that. Despite some people might be like, we don't have enough evidence that this is even a real thing. Some people might say that, and they might be like, because if you look at, bones from the past, if you dig up anybody's bones and you do an analysis on their bones, you'd be able to like figure out if they're male or female. There's never been a case where we've dug up anybody who's been just naturally trans. You've never had that. We've had one-offs once in a while. We'll have a case of maybe like a hermaphrodite, but that was a thing of the, that was an anomaly. But outside of that, we never had trans. Trans is, some people might say that trans is a completely man-made construct, that it doesn't even exist. But then again, some people might say that that you can't even actually have a proper, functioning penis with a testicle that produces sperm. Some people might say, could people start producing sperm and semen and get their fake cocks to work like a real cock? Could they? Could you refurbish the outside and have could just ask a question, because I don't know. Could you make a vagina that not just looks like a vagina, but actually functions like a vagina? With ovaries and all, capable of, with a uterus and all. Could you do that right now? Could we do a full triangle, or could we just make the outside look kind of similar to what a female body looks like? Because I'm curious, I don't know. Because otherwise, you don't want to falsely advertise. That would suck. You're like, come on down, sign up for your new vagina and your new ovaries, get cramps and all. And then you go in and then you get your surgery, but then you don't get cramps. You're like, I don't get cramps, or I'm not bleeding enough. I gotta keep dilating my vagina, because if I don't, it's gonna close, because it's just an open wound. It's just an open wound. It's not a vagina. You'll say that after getting it. And then you might have regrets. And then what are you gonna do? You're gonna go knock on the doctor's door and be like, yo, doc, I have regrets. I want my cock back. What's he gonna say? That I kept your cock? He's not gonna keep your cock. I don't know if they do or don't, but what are you gonna do with that old thing that's been chopped off? It's not like you just stitch it back on. Maybe you could. I don't know. Probably not. Things have been cut off, damaged. The nerve endings have been severely damaged. Reconstruction surgery has been done already. Things have been dug up. But these are the things that you should encourage your kids, especially when they're young, to do. Because again, it's just, you want to be supportive. You don't want to say no to your kid. You want to be supportive. So support them at an early age, real quick, real fast and quick. Just like maybe, forget even, because no child has ever gone through growing up, going through adolescence. No child, no youth has ever gone through a phase in their life where they were confused about their body, where the hormones were up and down, and they were maybe in physical, mental, emotional, spiritual agony for a little bit of time, just trying to Nobody's ever gone through any of those. Nobody's ever gone through, just waking up one morning and just be like, oh, my fucking tit hurts. Because I didn't have tits yesterday, but now I low-key have got like a tit. Nobody's gone through that. Nobody's balls just dropped and unloaded a whole bunch of testosterone in their body overnight and just grew up, going through a few years of just hormones bouncing up and down in their body. Nobody goes through this. So this is, when your kid comes to you and says, I want to trans, that this is the right path. So support them in their transitioning. The earlier you support, the better it is. Will it work out? It's hit or miss. It is hit or miss, but we've got to do these human experiments until we can refine it for the future. For the future. I don't know what to, it sucks that this went down. All in all, moral of the story is that do we continue playing with, wordage, rhetoric, discourse? Do we continue like playing a game where we say something is real when we know it isn't? Or do we say, here are the facts, here's the truth, here's the, at least let's just like parse out what's fake, false, and, lay down the facts so that people at least know, because there's young people that learn shit online. And then they go and, want to practice it themselves. And then they might say, and that's the thing too today with exposure to so much social media, people get exposed to so many ideas, different people seeing all sorts of lifestyles, and and you're there in your, little community, and you might feel all sorts of uncomfortable about yourself, about where you are in life, about how you're supposed to look or think or fit in or not fit in and be okay with it or everything. It's just, there's a lot of pressure. So my heart goes out to, young kids, families who are raising young kids. It's difficult. It's not easy. Other than that, just, one thing, support them in transitioning. That's one thing that you should know. Support them hard, dude. Okay? Transition with them. If you really want to be supportive, like transition with them. Get a twofer. If your kid wants to transition and be on, hormone blockers, you get on hormone blockers too. Reverse roles. Mom turn into dad, dad turn into mom. Your kid, flip it and reverse it. Whatever you got, switch it up. That being said, despite the fact that it doesn't occur in nature, I do wonder with our mixture of, technology in our lives, I wonder what the humans in the future will look like in the future. What will we even look like? Because with all the plastics going in our bodies, with all the taints shrinking, with all the, PFAs, with who knows? With all the potential chips that might be implemented into humans' heads, or some sort of talking about all these smart glasses now potentially replacing phones. Who knows which way we're going to be going to in the future. So it is interesting to discuss these things. And I don't think anybody's got a clear-cut answer as to what we're doing or where we're going exactly, but it's interesting to think about. Yeah, because we might all be on our journey of transitioning into something that is not this version of the modern human today. In 50 years, 200 years, we've got robots giving births to children. We've got random, you can take 3 people's random DNAs and create a baby in a lab. You got knee extending surgeries, or leg extension surgeries. You can extend your height. You could do that shit. You could get an implant, get a tit, remove your cock. So who knows what and to top it off, we might be down the line in the near future sometime be introduced to a new version of a interface with the world through some sort of a chip or glasses that are artificial intelligence glasses. These are products that are available on the market. So who knows what the human of the future will look like? But until we figure it out, you want to make sure your kids are first in line in the experiments. Okay, just make sure of that one. And will it work out? It's may or may not. We'll see. What else is going on in and around the world? I believe 62,000 on a little bit of a lighter note, moving skirt. Let's switch gears a little bit on it. On a beautiful note, this one is 62,000 pounds of cocaine was just busted in Florida by US Coast Guards. And they said this was enough cocaine to have everybody in Florida OD, that's $500 million worth of cocaine. That's so much cocaine, 62,000 pounds. That is, I can't even, how large that's a, can't even imagine. That's so much cocaine. And again, this is just one of the busts that they've gone ahead and conducted and that was successful, but there's so many other ones that, go unnoticed, that travel through the seas and the oceans and make their way from all different points of the world, Europe, Asia, Africa, everywhere, North America. And I wonder, could we be utilizing our resources in any better way instead of fighting it? Because it's not going to stop. It hasn't stopped up until now. And again, this was a really good bust. But also, what are we going to do with all this cocaine? $500 million, 62,000 pounds. That's so much cocaine. Are we going to do we just dump it away? Do we burn it? We're not going to sell a little bit of it? All that money? Because people are still going to buy cocaine. It's not like people are going to stop. It's not like people are going to say, well, that's the biggest bust. We're never going to buy cocaine ever again. I just want to say, as I've said before, I've never used cocaine. I'm not interested in using it, but I'm just saying for money's sake, we're not going to are we going to flush it all down one toilet? That's a lot of toilets that toilet's going to be clogged up. You can't just flush it in the water either. That's going to go in the water. It's going to go in the sewer. It's probably not good. Probably end up in the ocean somehow. You want the sharks to be high off cocaine? You want cocaine sharks? Is that what you want, you sick pervert? You want the octopus to be more, fucking loose with their tentacles? You want an octopus that's just fucking, biting he's got that lockjaw. You want that octopus lockjaw, son? You want ink blots that are, undecipherable or whatever? Oh, what are you trying to do to sea creatures? All I'm saying is, could we sell some of that? Could I help you, assist you in any shape or form in terms of holding on to and or getting rid of those bricks? That's a lot of bricks. If I could do anything to be of assistance, I'm just letting you know, 62,000 pounds of cocaine. It's a lot of cocaine to deal with, and say what you want. And I don't want you to go out there and you stop it. Don't even mention it. You're like, Rob, you've already had a very busy summer. You're running around, taking care of business. You don't even know how summer flew by this year because you've been going at it. And I thank you. I appreciate that. You're like, don't worry. We don't want to put more on your plate. Don't concern yourself with my plate. I will take as many of those bricks as you're willing to give away. And I will do, hey. Mi cocaina breca e su cocaina breca, and vice versa is what I says to that, so don't worry about it. All right, I'll handle it. Just ship it over, DM me, we'll get rid of it, we'll flush it out. What cocaine bricks? What are you even talking about? God, that's so much cocaine. Sex work. Is it really work? Or is it just sex work? What is it? Belgium, I read an article in Belgium. They're one of the most advanced countries when it comes to laws concerning prostitutes and sex work, if I'm not mistaken, said in the article, so I'm just saying it back. I think the Netherlands might be a close second or up there. I love those, some European nations. I like your sex laws, your sex work laws. They just passed a new law that maybe sex workers in Belgium can get dental or like parental leave and, sick days and shit. And it's got some pros and cons to it apparently, which I'm not fully aware of all of them, but it's a good step. It's another step. Gives you a little bit of benefits in terms of working as a sex worker. But also some people I've read say that this might help, the pimps and the brothel owners for, I don't know how it's going to help them, but it apparently helps them somehow. But it just led me to think: could we not just legalize sex work? Why isn't it? Why shouldn't it be considered work? I'm just curious. Just if it's somebody's body, it's your body. What you want to do with it, and what other people want to do with it. If it's agreed upon, mutually, consensually, I don't. If I want to sell that puss, I should be able to sell that puss. So if I want to acquire that dick, or if I want to acquire that puss, if I want to acquire that ass or tits, whatever it may be, I should be able to do it. As a free, because do we less is fair or do we not less is fair? Is it a free market or is it not a free market? Is what I got to ask. My tit, my choice. That should be the Of course, people could say that the argument against it could be that maybe people who would have not chosen that life would choose it now that it becomes legal. People are already doing that though. So, the OnlyFans, fucking flourishing. All the porn sites, flourishing. It's not like it's not. Making it illegal doesn't make it stop, just like the cocaine thing. Making anything illegal doesn't make it stop. It only helps people in the black market, helps people in the, criminal realm. It helps facilitate more trafficking. If we could truly just make it, simplify it so that there's no loopholes, that there's no, and every country has got different laws concerning it, I just go back to, keep it simple. That's what I say. Keep it simple. The more complicated we make these laws, and again, I don't fully grasp everything at all. I don't even know, today's Friday. That's all I know. That's all I know, dude. Today's Friday, and I'm in a bit of pain from working out. That's what I know. Okay. Maybe yesterday I took a day off because I was in a lot of pain. All right. Maybe I went a little bit heavy. Past couple of days, I went a little heavy. Maybe your boy took a day off. That's what I know. All right. Today, your boy's gonna work out again. That's what I know. Okay. And but the point is, making it illegal. I don't know how I feel about that. Because there's gonna be prostitutes. There's gonna be people who wanna flash that puss. There's gonna be people who wanna buy that puss. Or cack. Whatever it may be. Just wondering. Because that way you could just be like straight up, here's like 5 pounds of puss. You want it, take it. And you set a price, set your parameters, 5 pound of puss. Right there, dude. Price it out, however you like. $100 per pound or whatever, per 5 pounds. 5 pound of puss for $100 or more or less, depending on whatever. That's the thing. It's a free market. You set your own standards. You want to sell that 5 pound of puss for $1 million, then you only sell it once, but you get $1 million. Think about that shit. Somebody out there might want to spend $1 million on 5 pounds of puss. How much does puss weigh anyway? If average chick, 150, 170 pounds. Seems real. 5 pounds of puss. That's like a handful of puss. 2 to 3 pounds of puss. A pound of puss. Just the puss itself. We talking puss with internals? That's probably like 7, 8 pounds. I don't know exactly, but you could just scale it up. Is what I'm trying to say. Put it on a scale and weight it out, and or you could just sell your tit milk. How about that? Selling your tit milk shouldn't be illegal to sell a tit milk. That way you really get rid of the pimps, because if it's like totally free to sell it and buy it, that way you don't have that middleman who's getting in there and procuring these services, these goods, these little snacks, if you will, these little snacky poos. I'm craving for some tacos. Craving some tacos. It's so hard to get some tacos. You gotta find somebody, and that's you've seen international conflicts and shenanigans going on concerning this topic of trafficking and prostitution and sex work. So I'm just question out there, should we make it just legal in as many places as possible so that we at least know if you're of age and you're consenting, you can sell it and buy it. That's hey, keep it simple and clean. Could it be simple and clean is what I'm asking, or does it have to be this complicated? Could it be less complicated, if anything? Could it be less complicated? Because in some places you can sell it but you can't buy it. And in some places you can buy it, you can't sell it. It's weird. All of it is weird. And then you start talking about things like soliciting and loitering, and all of a sudden it just gets confusing. You got a bunch of guys standing around a corner. Well, what's that all about? Are they loitering? Are they soliciting? What are these females doing? early in the morning out on the streets? Are they loitering, soliciting? Could you do that? Could you not do that? I'm just confused. But overall, I'm confused about a lot of things. That's why we're here. One of the other pillars of this podcast: confusion, not knowing much, trying to figure it out little by little, or at least a little piece of it. With your assistance out there, we'll figure it all out together as a team, united, standing strong. Guess another story that's kind of correlates with this one, actually. Houston pastors have been, two of them, a couple of these Houston pastors have been charged or, busted for trafficking of up to, with $50 million worth of trafficking. These two pastors in Houston, they were at a church. They were collecting money and donations, large sums of donations. They were getting free labor from their followers, from their, people who attended the church. And they may have been involved in trafficking as well. They may have been. And to that I say, these are, hey man, first of all, you don't know. Sometimes God selects certain people, all right? The chosen people, speaks or works through them sometimes. And they deserve, God wants them to have Rolexes and yachts and free labor. So you back up before you come in there with your judgment and say, hey, what's up with all the free labor and potential, money laundering and or trafficking humans? You don't know what kind of work God wants them to do. So what? They were running a cult. So what? You don't know what God wanted them to do. They deserve to be, because it's a lot of work to go out there and preach and shit. All right, to interpret God's word to other people. So it's difficult. So you need workers. You need people to be pampering you all the time. You need people to mow the lawn. You need people to create whatever it is that you're trying to create. You want to build something. You want to get a little construction project going. You want some of that cheap labor. All right. God wanted them to have it. God wants cheap labor. You don't know. So before you go judging around with your judgmental guys and just being all sorts of critical and stuff. Hey. The Lord saideth, thou shalt not drive around in a regular whip. Thou should probably accumulate a lot of wealth and whip around in a Rolls Royce. That's John 3:21, if I'm not mistaken. Look it up, or rather, better not. Just take somebody's word for it. Lots of money to be accumulated, and who are you to say that they don't deserve it? They are doing the Lord's work, all right? So you let these pastors, and the trafficking, hey, sometimes people need to get from place to place. Sometimes people need to get from place to place. My brothers and my sisters, sometimes people needs to be getting in and going out. Sometimes people need to be brought in and brought out. If I can get a hallelujah up in this bitch. Amen. Because you don't know what the Lord wanted us for the chosen of pastors over there. You don't know. They deserve the good life. The Lord says that you should be all motherfucking playing now. Player. Can I get an amen in this bitch? Warm up my yacht. You think it's easy to preach? You want them to preach in a humble dwelling, you want, the Lord wanteth a castle, all right? He wanted a mansion. He wanted luxury. The Lord liveth in luxury. We all know how Jesus rolled around. Blinged out and shit. Iced out, son. That cross that he was carrying came from the fucking Amazon, dude. Mahogany. Wrap your head around that shit. Fucking sandals. You think it was just regular sandals, son? That was top of the line camel toe skin, son. Think about that. What else is going on? Javier Milei of Argentina. Javier Milei, the president of Argentina, was recently going around on a motorcade. He was doing campaigning. Because I believe he's got an election coming up in like 2 months or something. And people pelted rocks at this fella. I'm talking about Javier Milei. This was the beautiful Argentinian president who not too long ago wielded a chainsaw and got the people going with the chainsaw. He's like, something in Argentina. Argentina barbecue. Argentina. Fuera, fuera. Arriba, arriba. Arriba, fuera. Remember that guy? Fucking, this nice, beautiful sideburns. Loved him a few months ago or a couple of years ago. Time flies by whenever he got elected. But now there's another election coming up and now you're pelting rocks at him. Why? Why must you pelt rocks? I don't know why people were doing that. Allegedly, his sister, who's also his campaign manager, allegations of bribery or, revolve around him and maybe his sister and maybe other people in his campaign. Who knows? Bribery is, if you're in politics, not involved in some sort of bribery. If you do, what are you even doing politics correctly? So before, again, people, I don't know anything about Argentinian politics, but before you go around pelting rocks, I say, remember the good times. Remember the chainsaw. Arriba, arriba. Should have learned a couple of more Argentinian words for today's episode, but perhaps what we have to work with is plenty. Unos, dos. Arriba, fuera, fuera. Right there, dude. What else is going on? I'm just gonna sip of this coffee right here. Yeah, dude, don't throw rocks at the beautiful man. He's got stage presence. He gets the people going. He gets the people excited. All right. It's not perfect. Nobody's perfect out there. So if you got concerns, take it to the Senate. Take it to the courts. Take it to the judicial legal system or something. Do things in the proper way. And a beautiful way that this could be done, I believe. I'll get to how you could actually conduct this later. Let's skirt for a second. I just want to again take one of those moments to appreciate the times that we do work together and come together, because it's unique, it's beautiful, it doesn't get enough praise like other things that do get praise. But I want to take this moment to say thank you. Thank you to the beautiful Canadian and the men and women of the Canadian Search and Rescue Team, and also the men and women of the United States of the Americas Search and Rescue Team, who came together, ladies and gentlemen, who made me low-key hard still from hearing it, and that should say something. Let it speak for itself. These beautiful men and women came together and they found a cruise ship off the coast of BC, near Vancouver somewhere. And there was a couple of people, 2 separate incidents on the same cruise ship of motherfuckers trying to have medical emergencies on board a cruise ship near the coast in BC. And do you know what we said to that? You know what we collectively said to that? When the Canadian Search and Rescue Team gets together with the United States of the Americas Search and Rescue Team, we says to the motherfuckers that want to go out there and have medical emergencies on bodies of water, we say, try that shit, son. You try to have a medical emergency on our watch, motherfucker. You try to have a heart attack in this cruise, in this beautiful cruise, and ruin the experience wherever we get in there together, cooperating. Choppers, helicopters, men being dropped via rope, or maybe women too. Somebody operating these choppers, nonetheless working simultaneously, hand in hand, side by side, Canadian tit, American cock, Canadian cock, wrapped into one. Not in a homoerotic way at all, just letting you know, when we cooperate, motherfuckers will be out there trying to have strokes or, just their moment of having a major heart attack or a panic attack or whatever the case of the medical emergency. If motherfuckers try to put on a medical emergency on our site, we get in there, we nip it in the bud, and we give it the people's elbow when we say, try again next time, motherfucker. Try again next time, not on our watch. Ain't nobody gonna die on Canadian and American, under Canadian and American watchful eyes. Not when these search and rescue mission people are on top of it. Which reminds me of the time that I was involved in not a similar event, but a little bit of, I was online doing a little bit of search and rescuing myself, if you will. Was it involving a little bit of, if you wanna, I don't wanna get into the details, but let's just say there were a couple of porn videos that were just calling out to your boy, search for us, search or rescue us. And by that they were saying, scroll up and down until you find a suitable video and have a jerk off sesh. So low key, when I see search and rescue, I seize it, I respect it, and I say we bout it, son. So not the same, but I feel you out there is what I want to say. So just let that sink in. Moments of cooperation and love. Have I misplaced a couple of keys a couple of times? Did a couple of did I search and rescue them keys? Bruh, you don't know. Once your boy sets his mind to something and says these keys need to be searched and rescued, son. Shit, son. Shit, motherfucker. You trying to hide and seek from me, motherfucker, is what I says to them keys. And I says, you don't want this shit. Especially, you don't want me to call them boys from the Americas, son, because next thing you know, we get up on this shit. Motherfucker, we find your ass, is what I says to the keys. And the keys just fucking, do the worm, and they just come out from underneath the couch by themselves. That's how this shit went down. God, got me hard. Shit, this other time. No, that's it. There was no other time. So I'm not going out there on search and rescue missions left, right, and center. Do you think that this is just because when you in this shit, blood in, blood out, son? We don't fuck around with that shit. Not on our watch is what we said. Motherfuckers trying to ruin Canadian cruises or American cruises, and we're both watching, yes? Have a heart attack in the proper place, like a hospital, all right? Not in front of the kids. Not in front of the divorcee moms and dads who are trying to unify a new family together. Not in front of these people. These are good folks, all right? Take it elsewhere, motherfucker, is what we said. Sorry, I get excited when stuff like this happens. You know me. My heart just pumps and all the blood straight to the cock. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that when it comes to politics or, voicing your concern, pelting rocks is not the answer. Get in the Senate, you get in the beautiful Senate, like the beautiful Mexican Senate that just had a meeting maybe a day or two ago, and there was a brawl that just broke out in the Mexican Senate. These are beautiful. I love the Mexican people. I've had the privilege of visiting your beautiful country once, and it was one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had. I'd like to revisit one more time, or maybe even a few more times. Who knows? But the point is, they're passionate people. Passionate people see passionate people. They recognize passionate people. Oh, warm-blooded, passionate, hot, passionate people. I see, God, the Mexican people are so beautiful. I sees it, and I recognize it, and I see a brawl going on in the Mexican Senate. And people are online, on the streets talking about, because it went down, there's a couple of people, there's two dudes who are about to go at it. A little scuffle breaks out. A little bit of tugging, a little bit of shoving, a little bit of pushing, a little bit of squeezing, a little bit of you want some, come get some, a little bit of that shit. What was it about? Rumor has it that there's people, allegedly they were arguing against maybe potential U.S. intervention in terms of getting the military to help out with fighting the cartels in South America. Some people say it was about that. Others are saying, we have people who are working in the industry who are trying to read mouths. We're readers. And they said that that's not it. They were actually fighting about which one of these two fellas and the parties involved have a bigger affinity and love for this show, which is Glad You Made It. They were fighting over this show. And again, these are all, it's he said, she said. I don't know what they were fighting about, but I just want to say to my Mexican Senate, the beautiful Mexican people, that you do not need to fight over which one of you or the parties loves Glad You Made It more. There were even rumors about favorite episodes that were, again, people, there's so many, it's just the beginning. So I don't want you to be fighting over Glad You Made It. There's plenty of episodes for you to go and watch, and I think you should probably watch it together. There's no need to fight. And I get it, it's exciting, it's exhilarating. Comes in, it drops it every week, and you're like, how does it drop every week? Fucking, the whole, again, going back to the whole summer, going full force, fucking pedal to the metal shit. That's, non-stop. And I don't want you to fight, because come on, dude. We gotta get together, like, fucking bring the forces, join them together, and work together. I don't need you to be fighting over which one of you guys loves the show the most. I don't want to see any of that. I don't want to hear any of that. There's proper methods of dealing with our issues that we all may or may not have, but this one show should not be, if anything, this should be a show for uniting both parties, or even more parties if there were more parties involved. I don't know the full details. Of course, these are all rumors and allegations, and we don't want to, just want to say, mi shoe e su shoe, mi programme e su programme. There you go. Because like mi casa e su casa. Por favor. Amigos, there is most of this show, which means there's more of this show. There's plenty most, a lot more most. It's just, so I just want to let just calm down. You don't need to be fighting. This, we're about to just fly everywhere. I just want to say, again, I get it. You're excited, rightly so, and this is just literally the beginning. We are, like I said, in the early days. This is a slow burn. Sometimes it might even fucking, need a little, just, what is it? No, that's called a slow burn. It just fucking gradually. So that, take your time, ease into it. There's no need to fight over which one of you guys loves the show more. Just wanted to get in there and do my part a little bit, if I could. Thank you for joining me once again. Bitches need respect. Hoes need that respect. Whores need that respect, son. We gotta, females, bitches you need to respect them. This is what I says. And I practice this too. I practice this. And I don't want to, because that's the thing. When I hear stuff like that, and although this story is international, it touches all of us. Giorgia Meloni, who I believe is the Prime Minister of Italy, the President of Italy, the Queen of Italy. I'm not too familiar with Italian politics, to be honest with you. So I don't know what her title is, but she's there at the top. Let's just say Queen of Italy or Prime Minister of Italy. President of Italy, Prime Minister of Italy. Sounds more accurate, but she's a queen. In our hearts, she's a queen. And she's been impacted by an issue, and a lot of other prominent women have been impacted by this issue. And maybe regular women too might be impacted by this issue. I'm talking about these bitches need respect, all right? Images of Giorgia Meloni have surfaced on Italian porno sites, all right? Doctored images, all right? Images which have been taken somewhere, whether in person or online, and then doctored. And doctored images, despite the fact that I don't know what it means, I can only speculate and deduce using my methods of deduction and speculation. So you got images, which we know what that is. That's just like, it's a visual. It's a little snap shot of the person. That's what images are. for you to view them. And then when you get these images, and then you doctored these images, you sick son of a bitch, you took these images to a physician of sorts who examined the photos and did what a doctor does, which is doctorate that image. And I'm talking check for heartbeat, do a little bit of stress test on the old knees. Does it kick back by a hammer snap? Does that snap back? Does that puss snap back? Is that all the just a full physical of so doctored images of these prominent women, including the female prime minister of Italy, ended up on a porno site, and it's becoming a thing, and it keeps becoming a thing. We need to do something about it, because bitches need to be respected properly. So you don't have random images of unconsensual images of bitches outside there in compromising position, doctored images. All right, sick people, and doctors have better things to do with their times than to doctor an image. They have people to attend to. There's not enough doctors to go around. You're taking pictures to doctors and getting them doctored. There are people waiting in line in every nation around the world waiting to get medical assistance in some shape or form. And you're taking images to medical professionals. I get, man, sometimes it makes me want to just break out into a little search and rescue of my own son. But I says, you know what, let the professionals handle it. So I know the professionals will handle it. I just wanted to raise a little bit of awareness and say that this shit needs to stop, all right? Respect them hoes properly, son. Respect that shit. Consensual images on porno sites, yes. Non-consensual doctored images? We're talking about doctored images? Fucking make better use of your time. You're welcome, ladies. Fucking who's looking out for the ladies? Not just this guy, but others doing it too, but got you. You're welcome. Just doing my little part. This brings us to the next segment of the program, which is asking deep, thoughtful questions and trying to answer them. And this one came in, somebody said out there, and I just listen, I hear what the people want to, put out there, and I just try to be a little conduit, if you will. Somebody asked, why do shower farts sound like when you're emptying out a shampoo bottle? Thank you for that question. You will forever remain in anonymity, and no one will know your name. Rest assured, we do shit the proper way here. What is an interesting question? Thank you for asking it. Why do shower farts sound like emptying out shampoo bottles with a little more wet than regular farts? I would say shower farts sound like emptying out shampoo bottles simply because you probably got a lot. I would say it's got to do with the water factor. Normally when you're farting, you are in a dry status. Once you got that water running down your back, talking about that crack water goes around the anus or the anus. And once you blow that fart out of your asshole, you're now sort of kind of blowing away the water from the said asshole. And it is low-key creating and this is just physics, but I don't want to get too carried away with the jargon, but you do create a water bubble, which may sound as if you are emptying out a nearly emptied out shampoo bottle. It's similar sounding, a little bit more, so which is why it sounds like that. But thank you for that question. It feels heartfelt, and if I could be, again, of assistance, I'm glad that I could do that for you. But there's a scientific explanation. I just don't want you to think that this is your body reacting some in some sort of weird abnormal way. You're not abnormal. You are completely normal, and many of people's shower farts sound exactly the same. You're like, could I have that? Because if you have that, maybe you like that sound. You're like, could I have this wet shower fart sound outside? I do apologize. Probably not. It's impossible to get that same effect without the water, unless you're willing to supply water on your asshole every time you are walking outside and farting, which is not a bad idea. To perhaps, if you want to really replicate that same sound, every time you were about to fart, empty out a bottle of water behind you, just kind of just drip it on your back, let it slide down your crack, and then blow out the fart, replicating the same noises as you would make in the shower. So there you go. Thank you for that beautiful, beautiful question. Don't ever stop, please. Somebody else said that they were trying to break in a seahorse as they do a regular land horse, and they've had some difficulty, and I get that. It's not easy to break in a seahorse like it is to break in a horse that's on land. Again, it goes back to the water factor, this one as well. What a coincidence. What a peculiar set of circumstances that water has an immense impact, not just on farts, but on how to break in a horse. Now, just because this horse is a wet horse doesn't mean that you can't break it in. It's all about spending time on them and also letting them know, because a lot of times seahorses are actually unaware of land horses or dry horses or just reg horses, and vice versa. Land horses too are unaware that they've got brethren and sistren in the wetlands, which is crazy because you try to explain it, and I say it takes a little bit of time, so just let them know that both of them have skills that the other one is lacking. Land horse, wonderful, but incapable of maneuvering in water. You know what I'm talking about? All of a sudden it's like, too much water, I'm drowning, I'm a big horse, I can't swim. It's like, learn from the smaller fella who is a fucking, the Michael Phelps of the waters or whatever. So try to just let them know that you are going to be working hand in hand, but there needs to be a cooperation. You need to dominate a little bit initially to get that, because they look at you for guidance. And get on top of the seahorse, really just saddle on top and just get on top and just use the same, just kick it slightly from the side, because I've seen that. It's what I've seen. I'm just letting you know, you kick slightly, gently, you kick the horse underneath the gut just to get him going. You do the same thing with the seahorses. And again, if they are just like trying to like rock you off, grab on tight and let them know that this is a dance. This is not gonna work if somebody's gonna be trying to let us be like, oh, I'm fucking wild and free just because I'm in water. And remind them that their land cousins are not man's best friend, but like up there, top 5 amongst, man's best, acquaintance. You could say that about horses. They've said that about horses. As a matter of fact, it's written in stone somewhere. Look for it. And that's how you just let them know that if it works in land, it should work in water. And get in there. Don't be intimidated by the whole water factor and people judging you, saying that no, you shouldn't ride seahorses, people pointing and saying, oh, look at that freak trying to ride a water. Point to the land horses and say that it's a prime example of human-animal interaction, which works. And just because it works on land, it doesn't mean that people should, put a stigma on the wet versions of this same animal. There you go. So you're welcome. You're welcome. And I hope this helps you out. A beautiful gentleman once said that his girlfriend has a habit of sticking Oreos or Cheerios in her puss and spitting it out. And she has the desire for him to catch it with his mouth across the room. And he was kind of left feeling uncertain about what to do about this peculiar set of circumstances. And to that I say, hey, if you're a lady if your lady wants to put Cheerios in her puss and spit it out and have you catch it with your mouth, it is odd. I'm not gonna lie to you. We keep it a $1.50 here. All right, so I'm not gonna. It's a little bit odd, but also it could have been a lot worse. Is she hurting herself or other people? If the answer is a clear no, then I say engage with it. Get in there. There's plenty of things that you probably do that might not be her favorite thing. Like maybe you play a little bit too much of the video games, but I don't know. That's just an example, right? So if you are accepted by your girlfriend for playing video games, then I don't see a reason why you should not accept and love your girlfriend for wanting to put Cheerios in her puss, in her tight puss lips, and spit it out with her puss through the queefing method and have you catch it across the room. If you engage in this activity, I mean, it only reinforces your relationship, the trust that you have with each other, knowing that, hey, despite the fact that there's a distance between us, you catch it, or rather you toss it, I'll catch it. And isn't that just not just a premise for life that you spit, I'll catch? It's also a cornerstone of life. You spit and I'll catch it, or vice versa. I'll spit it and you catch it. That's essentially life. So if she wants to stick Oreos, Cheerios, little snacks in her puss and just spit it out and have you show support, be there, and hey man, it's not like does she want to, if she's taking it outside, that might be a little bit of oh, this is indecent exposure. She might, if you don't want her to get in trouble from that, I get that aspect of it. And yeah, do it at your home, do it in the comfort of your home. Or if she really wants to do it outside, find those indigenous tribes of the Amazon who are uncontacted, because these guys are roaming around in the nude, and get in there and low-key get it, just blend in, do your activities, and then bounce. You know what I'm talking about? Get in there at nighttime, all right? Mingle with the locals, and they don't even have real languages. It's just noises. So make some noises, make some of those, get in there, queef it out, catch it, and then bounce, dude. And then nobody's asking you, oh, are you exposing yourself in an indecent way? No, you're not, dude. You're just an indigenous tribesman and woman. Okay, so there you go. There you go, ladies and gents. Once again, you're welcome. If I could be of assistance, please do not shy away from putting forward such thoughtful questions. What else is going on? This one, I believe it happened in the GTA, and this one's a local one, which I love local stories. Happened in Mississauga, which is just outside of Toronto. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who live in Toronto, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. The Greater Toronto Area consists of many different little tiny cities. And here we go with this one. A lady was driving in Toronto, or the GTA, and she somehow ended up with a giant metal staircase on her car. I don't know the details of how she acquired the stairs. And then she drove off into the road with the stairs on her car. My thoughts on this matter, I saw a video, a couple of people were recording and saying, oh, this isn't safe. Somebody should, get in there and interfere. To those people, I say, again, I don't like this crabs in a bucket mentality of you see somebody with a cool set of stairs on their car and all of a sudden you got to call it in or get a license plate number. And I don't like rat culture. I don't like this whole like, oh, we gotta narc on our friend just because this doesn't seem safe or whatever. Let her ride around, dude. You don't know how she got it. Why you gotta be hating? So that's one thing I don't know how she got it. She got a giant set of stairs on her car. She's just driving around. It's beautiful. I thought about it. I'm not quite sure if this was from, I don't know if Exhibit is still doing them. When I was younger, there was a beautiful show. Some of you might be familiar with, some of you might not be familiar with it, but there was a beautiful show called Pimp My Ride. You don't know if that show is still on or maybe somebody else is hosting it. And if you recall, some of the episodes were marvelous stories where you'd catch a fellow or a lady who was maybe, going to university or college and also, holding down a couple of jobs. And they found this, fellow or lady who had a, beaten down car, and they Maybe the car was like sewed together from, from 5 different cars, and it doesn't matter. The exhibit got in there and they asked the fellows or ladies, what are your hobbies and interests? And then they incorporated some of those hobbies and interests into the car. Somebody might have been into video games and they got a whole bunch of Xboxes and PlayStations in their car, and that was pretty rad. Or some people might be like, oh, I'm into aquatic animals. Next thing you know, they got an aquarium in the back of their car. What happened to those fish in the car, nobody knows. I mean, you put them in there once, but how do you take them out? The filtering system, it was a whole thing. It didn't end too well for the fish in the car. But also, you see this woman with the stairs on her car. Instead of asking, oh, be happy for the end. They got a set of maybe the show is still on. Maybe she put out a request and got her favorite. Maybe she loves the Stairmaster. Maybe she loves hiking. You don't know. Instead of fucking going out there and narking on people and saying, oh, this doesn't fit our norms and standards of what a car should be, when it's operating on a road. We don't like these motor vehicles that are a little bit outside, but she don't know how she got it, okay? She's whipping around. Maybe when she arrives at her home, maybe the entrance of her home is on the 2nd floor. Maybe there is no ground level entry to her home, dude. Maybe that's the only way she could enter her home, and you guys narked on her and got her. She probably got a little ticket or something. The stairs were probably removed from her car because of haters. They're incapable of seeing something beautiful and letting it exist. Maybe she got out of the car when she pulled into her driveway and said, yeah, I'm gonna just climb the set of stairs and get into my 2nd floor entrance, because that's where the entrance of my dwelling is, on the 2nd floor. And now when she arrives to her dwelling, you see her just jumping up and down, trying to grasp at the door that's on the 2nd, where she's incapable of getting inside the house. Winter is around the corner. Soon she'll be out of her house forever and she'll become homeless. It's close to December, January, it's around the holiday season. She's out on the streets, taking up prostitution, turning tricks downtown. So to save money to buy a rope or a proper set of stairs so that she can implant it in front of her house so she can get up to that 2nd floor door of her dwelling. So I just want to let you know that you should consider your decisions before you go out there and narc on people, because now she might have children who are abandoned because of the said prostitution and trying to raise money for that. And in the meantime, she might have gotten hooked on all sorts of drugs. So I hope you're happy about that. All that to say is that we are all doing it together, and I like it when I see stairs on cars. It doesn't happen every day. I don't know why it happened. Visually, I like it. Do I want to see more of it? Yes, I do. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, peace out. Get out of here.